In this how-to video, you will learn how to store and manage qualitative data in NVivo 12. Once NVivo has opened up from the Start menu, you can click on Blank Project. Here we can give our project a name. I will call it GP's Responses to Carers Support. You can browse where you like to save your project. You can select Save and OK. Once NVivo has opened up, you can see there's a number of functions along the left-hand side. You can see that Files is already selected as it's a new project. In the Files blank space, what we would like to do is right-click and import our items. Here, you can select from your computer where your items have been saved and import them. All 4 of your transcripts can be selected at once and imported in one go. Now we can begin to create some codes before we begin to code our transcripts. So under the Codes heading, we select Nodes. Again, a blank space will appear where we can right-click and select New Node. The first node I'm going to create is a tree node. Here you can also give a description of what the tree node means. So here I'm going to type comparisons between GP responses to all 5 questions. Select OK, and the node will appear underneath the nodes heading. You can repeat this step if you already have an idea of what some of your key codes might be. So I will continue to create a couple more. Right-click, New Node. This time I will call it a free node. Select OK. I will continue. Right-click, New Node. I will add GP Assistance as a node. OK. And I'll create one more node and call it GP Intervene. Okay, so I have a couple nodes to help get me started. I might also have some child nodes or some secondary information that I think might be important for these transcripts. So you can create child nodes before you begin to transcribe or throughout the process as you work through. So just before we begin, let's create a child node under GP Assistance. So we're going to right-click on GP Assistance and select New Node. Here you can see in the hierarchical name that it already includes GP Assistance. Here now we're going to give our child node a name such as GP Knowledge. We're going to select OK, and you can see it appears underneath our GP Assistance. We're going to create one more child node. We're going to right-click, New Node, and we're going to call this one Mental Health. Okay. So now that we've created a couple nodes to help us get started, we're going to go back to our files underneath Data, and we're going to double-click on Tom. It's going to open up on the right-hand side of the screen. Our files still appear on the left, but we're going to look at our nodes to help us code our information. So this time I'm going to select Nodes, and you can see that they will now appear where our transcripts were initially. Once you've gone through and you've read the information, you can begin to code by simply highlighting the information you think is important, dropping, holding, and dragging that information underneath the code. So for the first one, for GP Assistance, you can see that the file and reference has changed to show that that information has been placed there. You can continue to do this as you continue to find information that you think is important. You do not have to highlight the whole transcript. You can just pick the pieces of information that you think are most important and relevant to your research question. You can see now that I've opened up Tom, I have also had a Documents tab that has appeared. You can see that there's a Coding Stripes drop-down menu. If you select that, and you select recent coding, you can see that another column on the right hand has appeared with different colors showing you what information you have coded. This is handy if you go back away from your transcript and then want to come back to it at some stage, or for you to see what has already been coded. You can also edit within your transcript itself as you're going along. You just have to click here to edit, and you'll find that an edit tab has appeared where you can change the heading level of your questions or change the text within the transcript itself. You might find that as you go through that you might need to change the name of some of your codes. So if as I've gone through and coded, I think GP intervene is not the right code for it. So we can right click and select node properties. Here you can change the name of your codes to whatever you feel would be more appropriate. So I'm going to change it to GP support. Select OK, and it will change it underneath the nodes heading for you. What you can also do is, as you go through and you code, you might find information such as the GP knowledge shouldn't really be a child's node. It should be at a higher level. It should be at a parent's level node. So to move it, what we can do is we can right click, select cut, and in the blank space we can right select paste, and it will move into a higher level or position as you go through. Within NVivo you can also generate reports. So from the output tab you can select reports, and this will give you a summary of what you've actually coded. So make sure you select coding summary by the nodes level by double clicking on it. Right now just please ignore all the filters for the results and select OK. What you will find is that a report about what you have actually coded will appear based on the participant's name as well as the node in which the information has been placed. This can be exported and printed and shared with other members of your research team. This concludes the how-to video on how to manage and store qualitative data in NVivo 12.